We asked students 21 questions to get to know them, their program, and their experience at Salus University. Here's what they had to say. What's your name?
My name is Nikol Davidson.
Where are you from?
Bucks County.
What program are you in?
I'm in the SLP program, so speech pathology.
Why did you want to pursue this career?
So I came into undergrad really into psychology. I wanted to be a counselor or something with psych. I think I originally wanted to do neurology. That was a really big thing for me. So psych kind of was the start for it. And all throughout high school, I wanted to be an English major, a literature, I really like grammar, all of that, and a teacher with kids, because I really love kids. And I truly didn't really know where those things will take me. And then my mom, who was a speech pathologist, told me about this field, and I had never heard about it before college. And she was kind of see if your program or your undergrad maybe has the program, and maybe think about doing that. And I did. I looked into it and I added the major as communication sciences disorders. And I kind of fell in love with it because it was a mix of all the things I loved so much: psychology, education and kids, and literature, English, grammar, syntax, all of those things. So I love that this field really takes everything that I love and puts it into an actual career.
Why did you choose Salus?
I fell in love with Salus because of the people. When I was going to all the interviews, I was really looking past just the rooms and the cool aspects. I was looking into the faculty, and they all obviously showed us some second-year students, and they had them kind of give us the tour. And I remember thinking I almost watching the students and how they were interacting with each other, and somewhat even what they were talking about. And it was just such a nice, it was a really good feel. It really felt they were close to each other and they were comfortable at the school and they were relaxed. It wasn't stressful. It wasn't competing with each other for, who's at the top of the class or who is going to be the best speech pathologist. It was a family feel. And I remember thinking I want to be here. I want to be those second year students, or first year, actually, they were first years. And I remember thinking that could be me. Am I going to be able to see myself here? And I did, and it was really cool. And it was a lot of the faculty too. When we had our interviews with the faculty members, I remember thinking wow, they're so, nice, and they want to get to know you. It's not just, your GPA or your GRE score that they care about. They want to get to know you and how you'll interact in the program, and also whether you'll actually succeed through the 2 years that I'll be here. So that was really cool. And plus the clinic that we have, I thought it was really cool that they throw us into the clinic first semester, where other schools didn't do that. So that was awesome.
What have you discovered about your subject area as a grad student that you wish you knew as an undergrad student?
That it's a lot more than just the speech therapy that you think of when you think school speech therapist. With grad schools, I think that we've covered the school artic clients so much less than everything else. There was so much more to it and so many different fields, and it's kind of I see speech therapists everywhere and I can go anywhere. So that was really cool. I didn't see that before I came into grad school.
What do you feel is unique about your program at Salus?
So like I said before, the clinic, I think that I went to a few interviews with other schools, and when I was looking into the process, a lot of schools, they kind of put you in a classroom for the first semester and let you learn about everything first, kind of want you to memorize everything, know what you're doing, and then they'll kind of say that you're certified to go into the clinic and treat patients. Where Salus, they kind of literally we had 1 week that was our clinic boot camp, and they trained us all we need to know for the clinic, and then just threw us in and gave us real clients, real life patients. Everything was real, and told us you're their speech therapist now, so start working. And I don't think that a lot of schools that I saw do that or even had a clinic. So it was really cool. I think that was 100% the main reason that I chose Salus, other than obviously the faculty and the staff and the amazing people, I chose it because I knew that I would get to practice speech therapy as soon as I got here, and it wasn't going to be like all classwork and how much do you know from your classes. And I found that I learned a lot through clinic. Like, obviously I would, but it's a lot of hands-on learning, which I don't think a lot of schools offer. So that was awesome. Like, right off the bat, it's nerve-wracking, but it's really cool.
What clinical experience has made an impact on you thus far at Salus?
I just recently got a new client, and it's something I've never worked with before or even like studied, and it's a client with a stutter, and I've never been around somebody with a stutter. As weird as it sounds, I've never worked with anyone in the clinic with a stutter or even studied fluency in class, so I was really nervous going into it, and really thought that I wouldn't know what to do, or I've never seen it, and I was just really nervous. And like within the first 20 minutes of meeting this client, I was like, wow, wait, this is what I want to do. And I kind of had a moment like I love this. Like this stuttering had this counseling aspect to it rather than just the speech therapy, and working with the kid to understand that it's more than a stutter, and it's okay to stutter, and going through like the counseling portion of it. And it was amazing. Like I literally left that session and texted my sister, and I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, I think I am gonna be specializing in stuttering kids or something like that. I don't know, I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And it was something I've never done before, and I loved it. It was absolutely amazing.
Have you had any discouraging or especially triumphant moments in the classroom or clinic?
I think that discouraging in terms of classroom, I did feel, because of this online aspect, I've had a lot of moments really when I'm sitting there and I'm questioning myself, like, am I learning things? Am I really doing the most that I can and what I need to be doing to succeed? Because since we're online, it's really about holding yourself accountable and making yourself study and making yourself do the work and listen in class and do the work that is assigned. And I think the most discouraging part is that sometimes I think I'm not, and sometimes I think that I'm not doing as much as I should, and I know I'm learning, but sometimes I think like I'm not learning anything. Like, it's very different. So I think the discouraging part is not being face-to-face in the classroom and being kind of like made to learn. And I think it's been an experience figuring out that I have to do this myself, and I have to figure out how to do my best and get the most work done when I'm alone.
What's been your favorite class so far?
It's not exactly like a subject. I mean, it is a subject class, but it's our clinical foundations class. So we have an hour long class that is just dedicated to talking about the clinic portion of our program. So going over how the clinic is going, what exactly to do in the clinic, and then also the I don't know how to say it, like the more application-based things in the career. So like we learn about the specific, like terms, like medical terminology, like the forms that we have, all the official things once we get into either a school or a hospital or things like that. And then also go over the specific things we need to know for the clinic. And I think that's definitely my favorite class, because we really kind of have a space to talk about what's going on in clinic and, express concerns or ask questions kind of informally if we're unsure about things. And then we also really learn, like a lot of classes, people sometimes are like, oh, am I gonna need this? Or do I see myself using this in a few years? And that class is like, yes, I'm gonna need this, and I need to pay attention, and everything our professor says, it's like, write it down, because you'll be using this and you'll be using these terms. So it's my favorite because it's most application based, and I genuinely, it's all 100% something I will need, whether this week in clinic or in a year or 2 years when I'm out in the field.
Have you had any Eureka moments in the classroom or clinic?
I had a client last semester an aphasia client, and we worked on a lot of naming things and a lot of, the aphasia work that you do. It's just practicing and drilling and kind of getting the concept back into the client's head and having him kind of like relearn some naming things and, the receptive and expressive aspect of it. And I was really nervous going into it because I, again, had never been exposed to anyone with aphasia or anything like that. And I was really nervous because, I'm the speech therapist. Like, I will help him get to where he needs to be and achieve the goals that he has. And I was nervous that I wouldn't be able to do it. And I think that working with him and, working with my supervisor to come up with activities and, researching the topic and figuring out what's the best approach for therapy, I realized like this is what I want to do. And also seeing the progress. I think that's the best thing is, every week kind of looking at my work and the activities I had and needing to say like, okay, well, he did really great today. Like, we need to up, the complexity and we have to keep going. And it was like every week I had to like find new, harder, more challenging activities because he was making progress. And it was like, oh, that's because of me. Like that, I did that. And obviously with help, but, I worked with him and all of a sudden it's like, getting easier, some of the things we did in the beginning of the semester. And it was just really cool seeing progress with a client, and especially something that I've never had practice with before or seen. So it was really cool. It gave me like a confidence boost that I can do this.
Are you a part of any clubs or groups on campus?
No.
What's your favorite study snack?
Since I'm home all the time, it's like my everyday food, like my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But snack, I would say, I guess like popcorn or like any type of chip that I can like have at my desk and just eat while I do stuff.
What's your study strategy?
I make 1,000 to-do lists. I like writing everything out first and then, printing and then highlighting and then watching. And it's just like my order of doing things is what motivates me. And being able to check things off motivates me a lot. So it makes me feel accomplished. And especially at home, like when I'm alone and, I'm not studying with a group of my friends at school, it's hard to keep yourself motivated and, not go off to TikTok or Instagram or whatever I need to go on that moment, or even put on a Netflix show while I take my notes. Like it, I have to have a way of keeping myself accountable and knowing what I'm accomplishing as I'm doing it.
Where's your favorite spot to study on campus?
I do like the conference room that's outside the clinic. I don't even know what room it is, but it's right next to the SLI. It's in the same hallway, and it's a little conference room. And I love when I have downtime or when I get there early or something, I'll always go there to study because it's very quiet and it also has a window. It's like the big window to the front of campus where the cute little fountain is in the parking lot, and it's nice to look at. So I like studying there.
How have you felt supported as a student and an individual while enrolled at Salus?
The faculty really cares about, what we're going through and if we're, engaged in what we're learning, and if we need any help with the clinic things. Like we have, like, the professors are a huge supporting, help. They are constantly emailing and constantly asking, and there's always polls and, do you want to do this or do you want to do this, or are you feeling this way, or, they always give time to express what we feel, because being virtual, when they barely can see our faces, they don't, know if somebody's struggling or if someone's kind of confused. So they do leave a lot of room for questions and for concerns. So that's awesome. And then our program director, Bob, he's amazing. And he's constantly like checking in and emails, and, whenever you see him, he's asking how everybody is. It's a very supportive staff. And also our clinical supervisors, who are like amazing. They are the ones who are kind of like overseeing what we're doing in the clinic and making sure that we're not messing up. And, they're just there for every question, and you can ask. And it's anything. They'll help you with your client, or you can have a question about the career or the field, or, where is something in the clinic, and they're so willing to help. And they will sit there, like my clinical supervisors sit with me for like 45 minutes per session, like trying to talk to me and explain to me and help and, answer any questions and help any concerns. And it's amazing.
Where's your favorite place to chill between classes, on campus or in the community at large?
The conference room, I think, because I get my work done, and it's really close to the clinic too. So if I ever need to go back in and grab something or, look something up, because obviously we're not allowed to take anything out of the clinic regarding the clients. So when I'm doing work for my therapy sessions in that conference room, I can always run in and get anything I need. And plus it's just a nice little relaxing area. And the other thing is, everyone from the program knows that's kind of like our spot to study and do things. So you always have somebody walking in and, sitting with you. And that's really the way that we get to know each other, is through where are we studying and, being able to talk to each other about our shared concerns. How
has going virtual impacted your learning experience?
I don't like it. I think that it's convenient. So it works because I have a lot of more time, I think, than students in the past have had, when you have to drive back and forth from your home to your class and, go from class to class to class. And it's like a time crunch, I feel like. And, being virtual, it's really nice because we have some breaks and, I don't have to commute or, barely really do anything in the morning. I get up 10 minutes before my class and turn my camera on, or turn my class on. It's not as much work, I think, as it used to be, or a hassle to get places. So that's good. But I really hate, not being able to be face-to-face with my, students, the other students in the class, and the professor. I've always been like the student who loves to, raise their hand in class and talk and ask questions and stay after and, and sit in the front row, and because I want to hear the most and understand the most and be paying attention. And going online, it's like I have no idea who my classmates are, and I feel like it's like interrupting if I want to ask a question. I know it's not, but that's kind of how it feels a lot of the time. And again, I feel like it's really hard to motivate myself to learn and, basically force myself to pay attention, where before it would have been a lot more engaging. I know that in the classroom, instead of just, a PowerPoint in front of my face and I'm alone, and, it's very different, but it is convenient. And the other part is not getting to know the students in the cohort. I know that before it used to be everyone's in the same classes every day and clinic all day, every day, and together constantly. So it's easy to get to know each other. But for us, it's like, the few people in your clinic block, about 5 to 6. And even that, we obviously have to sit in separate rooms and our doors are closed and we're really not getting to know each other. And that's the other part that really kind of sucks, because these are, the people that are going to be in my field in about a year. And it would be awesome to have those connections really solidified before we go out in the real field.
What's the first thing you want to do once the pandemic is over?
Vacation. I want to go on vacation because we missed the summer of that. And honestly, go in class. It's weird. I thought that I would have 2 more years of school and sitting in a classroom and learning with people and a professor, and I don't feel that right now. So going back to a classroom and, a lab and hands-on, that's definitely what I'm looking forward to.
What advice would you offer an undergrad considering pursuing an advanced degree in this field?
Don't stress out so much. I think that undergrad puts a lot of pressure on you I remember it is a very competitive field, but I remember everyone talking as if no one is getting into grad schools anywhere. It's just not going to happen for you, and unless you have, a 4.0. And I remember being so stressed while applying to grad schools that I wasn't going to go to grad school, and I was just going to have to find something else to do. And it wasn't like that at all. It was a lot less stressful. And, of course, do your best because it does matter, but your personality and, you know, your experiences also matter. And I think that in undergrad you forget, and people start to think that school is the only thing that needs to be important, and it's not. So just don't stress out, and the classes are only going to get harder. So if you're going to stress over the undergrad classes, just know that there's a lot more in grad school.
To learn more about Salus University's programs, visit salus.edu/academics.